is this really necessary? And be able to market herself at this point, insinuating some sort of attachment to Caitlin Clark.
Weekend audition! How about it? Let's get it! Hey, you know what they say? 4 is more. Bah!
They thought they could fake the spotlight, but the truth hit hard. Angel Reese walked into Caitlin Clark's city like she owned it. Billboards everywhere, flashy sneakers, loud slogans, but what she didn't expect was silence. No cheers, no crowds, no Clark, and the moment the real star vanished, the entire show fell apart. Ratings crashed, ticket sales nosedived, and Angel's big Reebok launch, a total embarrassment. This wasn't just a failed marketing stunt, it was a brutal lesson in what real star power looks like. Because standing next to greatness doesn't make you great, and trying to steal someone's crown while they're injured, that's not bold, that's desperate, and fans made sure she felt every second of it. Angel Reese showed up to the 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend like it was her personal victory lap. Reebok plastered her face across Indianapolis. Her shoe campaign screamed, "I'm in your city," and everything was timed for a dramatic takeover. The idea was simple: drop her signature Reebok sneaker, unleash a bold billboard blitz, and hijack the spotlight in Caitlin Clark's hometown. It wasn't subtle, it was a full-on campaign of domination. But there was one massive flaw. The whole plan only worked if Clark was on the court. Reese didn't build this around her own momentum, she built it around Clark's. And the moment Caitlin was ruled out with an injury, the entire house of cards started to wobble. Because if your whole strategy depends on someone else showing up, it's not really your moment, is it? Just days before tip-off, everything changed. Caitlin Clark, arguably the biggest name in basketball right now, was ruled out of the All-Star game with a groin injury. She wouldn't suit up, wouldn't take the court, and wouldn't be there to draw the crowds Reebok and Reese were counting on. Suddenly, the main event was missing its headliner and the buzz that had been building. Gone, ratings didn't just dip, they collapsed. In 2024, with Clark playing, the WNBA All-Star Game drew a record-breaking 3.44 million viewers. But this year, it sank to 2.19 million. That's a catastrophic 36% drop. And it didn't stop at the broadcast. Ticket prices were slashed almost in half. What was supposed to be a cultural moment became a cautionary tale. Because without Caitlin Clark, everything from the ads to the atmosphere lost its meaning. The fallout hit hard and fast. Without Clark on the court, fans didn't care. Ticket resellers couldn't give seats away. Prices dropped from $121 to just $64 overnight. The All-Star Game in Indianapolis, Clark's own backyard, suddenly felt empty. Reese had the city, the billboards, the cameras, and her shoe launch all perfectly aligned. But none of it mattered, because the one name people came to see wasn't there. And that exposed the ugly truth. This wasn't about celebrating Angel Reese. It was about leeching off Clark's spotlight. Even Reebok insiders knew it. Behind the scenes, execs admitted the entire shoe drop was built around Clark's all-star presence. The moment she got injured, the excitement vanished. No star power, no sizzle, just a painfully obvious attempt to turn someone else's moment into her own. Social media didn't hold back. The second fans realized Reese's campaign hinged entirely on Caitlin Clark showing up, the jokes started flying. One tweet read, "She can't even sell her shoe without riding CeCe's wave." Another said, "More photographers than fans at that launch." Yikes. The message was loud and clear. Angel Reese wasn't making a bold move, she was chasing relevance. And nothing screamed that louder than her "I'm in your city" campaign. It was meant to be powerful. Instead, it looked like someone trying to wear a crown that didn't belong to them. Reese wasn't staking her claim. She was circling an empty throne and hoping no one would notice the real queen wasn't there. And for a league desperate to grow, this wasn't just a bad look, it was a PR disaster. You can't build hype off someone else's shadow and expect to come out shining. The sneaker launch was supposed to be Angel Reese's defining moment, a Reebok deal to flashy colorways, a full media blitz. But when the lights came on, the crowd didn't. The Angel Reese one dropped with names like Diamond Dust and My Buns, but fans barely blinked. Reebok banked on Clark's all-star energy to give it traction, but without her, the hype fell flat. And then came the kicker, a $1,000 price tag floating around online. That alone turned curiosity into mockery. People weren't lining up too. By them, they were roasting them. Fans joked that even scalpers couldn't flip the shoes because no one wanted them. Reese's attempt to mirror Clark's Nike success missed one key ingredient: authenticity. Clark's Kobe 5 drop sold out in 60 seconds at $190 retail and is now reselling for over $600, not because of slick marketing, but because people actually care. They believe in her. Reese tried to mimic the results without doing the groundwork. What the WNBA tried to do next only made things worse. Instead of owning the failure, they spun the numbers. Officials compared 2025's viewership to 2023's low 850,000 and called it a win, conveniently ignoring the massive 3.44 million milestone from 2024 when Caitlin Clark lit up the court. It was a desperate move to hide an uncomfortable truth. Without Clark, the WNBA isn't booming, it's barely treading water. And if there was any doubt, just look at Friday night. The skills challenge and three-point contest pulled in 1.32 million viewers. But that wasn't for Angel Reese. That was the Caitlin Clark aftershock, fans tuning in hoping to catch a glimpse, a mention, anything. Reese's name barely moved the needle. Because charisma isn't something you borrow, it's something you build. And Clark built it with every shot, every interview, every sold-out arena. The league wanted to pretend the spotlight could shift, but this weekend proved it only follows one name. Angel Reese didn't just overestimate her brand, she underestimated the audience. Fans aren't fools. They saw through the entire spectacle. From the Reebok rollout to the walk in your trap, take over your trap messaging, it all felt forced. The city wasn't hers, and the crowd didn't bite. Even her Instagram captions came off as empty posturing. Meanwhile, Clark wasn't even on the floor, and yet her presence still dominated everything. That's not marketing, that's magnetism. And the contrast was brutal. While Reese scrambled for attention, Clark's name echoed through packed arenas and social feeds without saying a word. Even Reebok's own playbook proved the point. Leaked footage showed Shaquille O'Neal saying Reese needed to be dressed in Reebok gear whenever she faced Clark. Translation: her relevance depends on Clark's existence. That's not competition, it's dependency. And once the weekend ended, Reese tried to spin the story, dropping a passive-aggressive post thanking the players, not the fans. But by then, the narrative was already written. Instead of reflecting, Reese doubled down. She posted that she had the most fun in a while because of the players, with players in all caps, a not so subtle jab at fans who hadn't shown up for her launch. But those fans had spoken loudly. They didn't reject her out of hate, they just didn't buy what she was selling. Her campaign wasn't bold, it was transparent. It screamed desperation, not dominance. She thought a few flashy moves in Caitlin Clark's city would elevate her. But what it really did was shine a spotlight on the gap between a player chasing fame and one who's already earned it. And in the most painful twist of all, Clark didn't need to be there to win. Reese tried to take over a city, a weekend, a league, and ended up proving just how far she still has to go. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend wasn't supposed to be a case study in failure, but it became one. Angel Reese had everything lined up: the shoe deal, the billboards, the city, the spotlight. But without Caitlin Clark, none of it mattered. The ratings tanked, the excitement died, and the fans tuned out. What we witnessed wasn't just a marketing flop, it was a reality check. Reese tried to ride Clark's wave without building one of her own, and the result exposed a brutal truth. You can't force star power. You earn it. Clark didn't need flashy slogans or staged dominance. Her presence alone moves the culture. Her absence proves it. The numbers told the story. The fans confirmed it, and the WNBA felt it. Reese may still have time to grow into her own identity, but this weekend made one thing clear: there's only one player truly driving this league right now. And her name isn't written on a billboard. It's etched in the hearts of millions. Because hype fades, but authenticity sticks. And in 2025, the real crown isn't claimed, it's already worn by Caitlin Clark.